After much speculation, David Moyes has finally got the boot from his position as the manager of Manchester United. It was a very public sacking for poor old Moyes and quite humiliating, especially as the club has promised to keep him on for a long contract. He'd only been given 10 months to do the job. Somewhat unfair, no, it takes most of us that long to work out how to use our work emails. We spoke to some of the club's London fans to find out what they thought of it all.
Well, it's interesting in that it's a fairly major cultural event in Britain. I'm not much of a football fan, but it seems to me that this has been coming for months. It's been fairly big news for months, so it's kind of quite interesting the story's broken this morning. And actually, even though I'm not much of a football fan, I'll be interested to see who they replace him with.
To be a new coach just after Ferguson, he had a huge difficulty, and I'm surprised they just sacked him now and not before. No, after losing the first match against Olympiacos, to lose after Chelsea and stuff like that. So I think he can be proud that he stay until the end of April.
To be honest, I think all the replacements that are out there have already got good jobs anyway. The Real Madrid manager, Jose, all the big ones have already got big jobs. So I don't know who they're going to find for it, really. I can't actually name anyone, really. No, I don't think there's anyone out there at the moment.
I think there are more serious issues in the world to deal with than football. And I don't really care about football that much.
Well, our resident footy expert, John Naylor, is here. John, what do you make of it all?
Well, it's really hard not to feel sorry for David Moyes. He only got 51 games, and to be honest, United, there's been trouble above him at board level, there's been trouble below him, there's squad's a bit imbalanced, there's a lot of good players there, but they're missing some key areas. So what we decided to do was to look at the potential managers that could be succeeding David Moyes, and one or two that you might not have thought of yourself.
First up, and red-hot favourite, is Louis van Gaal. He's managed Bayern Munich and Barcelona, winning the league with both. Also got great European pedigree, winning the Champions League in '95 with Ajax. At the moment, he's getting ready to lead Holland into the World Cup, so he won't be available until mid-July. Not the best for the transfer window, then. Sky Bet have priced up Tim Sherwood at 150 to 1. He'll likely be on the market soon. He's got Premier League experience, plenty of passion, and he knows how to rock a gilet. Not a bad shout. We've spoken to Paddy Power, and they'll take bets on Lady Gaga at 1,000 to 1. She's got an innovative way of thinking and might shake things up in the dressing room as well. And they're also offering 1,000 to 1 on a Bruce Forsyth. Now, Bruce is recently out of work. He's got a wealth of experience, and he'll be able to show the players some nifty footwork. You can also get 500 to 1 from Bet Victor on Howard Webb. Some fans reckon the referee's got a bit of a soft spot for the Red Devils. And Paddy Power will happily take your money off you at 500 to 1 for Pope Francis. As they told me, maybe he's the miracle worker they need.
A few interesting contenders there, and we really did put in those calls to Paddy Powers. That's the actual odd.
Those are the genuine. If you went down to the bookies tonight, you could put a bet on Lady Gaga and you get 1,000 to 1. I wouldn't suggest it, because you may as well throw your money down the drain, but yeah, it's nice to know the options there.
You never know. Now, you said you wanted Sandy Toksvig in for the job.
Well, exactly. She's only about the same height as a football, so it would work perfectly, I think. She'd understand the game better than anyone.
Who do you think would be a good replacement for Moyes?
Do you know what? I don't know. I'd just like to say, actually, I really, really feel sorry for Moyes, because I think what happened to him was pretty much the sort of modern equivalent of a public execution.
Well, you can't feel sorry for him.
Everyone kind of wanted it, and there were people baying for blood, and finally the axe fell and they got what they wanted.
But you can't feel sorry for him. He was given that kind of bestowed kind of honour of being the Man U manager. He got rid of he brought in his own staff, and that shouldn't have happened. You know, as they say, you know, when something is good, don't touch it, you just let it roll. And
he couldn't just stand there and do nothing. He had to do something. That's what it's like when you go to work. You can't just sit there, can you, John?
Well, the thing that I was thinking was, how would you feel if you started your new job and every day when you walked into work there's a statue of your predecessor just there outside the front door? I mean, pressure doesn't even really begin to cover it. You're taking over from one of the greatest managers who's ever lived. Nobody wants to be the man who follows Sir Alex Ferguson. It's almost the impossible job.
yeah, but that's just a shabby excuse. At the end of the day, he was given that role and he didn't do the job properly. And he brought in his own staff. He should have just worked with Sir Alex's team, the backroom staff, and I'm sure he wouldn't be in the position now. He'd probably still be in a job.
Wow, hardline stuff there from Ed.
No, I'm
You're
sorry.
scary.
As an Arsenal fan, it's a great time. It's like, yes, come on.
How many second chances has Arsene Wenger had when he's been down in
That's
the
a different
doldrums?
story. That is a different story.
Well, we've started the football argument part of the show, so best to just quiet this lot down and ask ourselves whether David Moyes will be consoling himself with half a shandy.